Now, emotions were running high in last night's Coronation Street as Abi finally confessed to cheating on husband Kevin during a one-night stand. Fans saw Abi spill the secret to her friend Sally, who also happens to be Kevin's ex-wife, of course. If you missed it, here's a clip.
When did it happen?
What?
When did he cheat on you? Was it an ongoing thing, or is it just a one-off?
No, Sal, you've got this wrong. Kev hasn't cheated.
Abi, you don't have to protect him. You deserve better than this. And if you're not going to tell him that, I will.
No, Sal, stop. You've got this really, really wrong.
You much told me that he was unfaithful to you.
No, it wasn't Kev. It was me.
You.
So what should Sally do, folks? Spill the beans to her ex or keep her best friend's secret? Janet, I've got to come to you with this one.
Well, first of all, she should never have told her mate, should she?
No.
She should. That was mistake numero uno. So she made the mistake, told her mate, and mate, if she's not a nice person, will tell the ex-husband. But what I'd say is, if that hadn't happened and you'd had a one-night stand, I wouldn't even call it... You don't think you should have any guilt attached to that whatsoever. That doesn't really count.
Even if you're married?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it's a one-night stand, you're not going to do it with that person again. Just don't beat yourself up about it.
Oh, Janet. What's the point in getting married?
Well...
Cheating is cheating.
Yeah, cheating's cheating. If you're gonna...
listen to this lineup of moralising witches.
Janet,
no, just
we be kind to each other on this programme.
I
Call
know.
each other witches. Come on.
No, I was witches, another cancelled word. Well, I'm very sorry, everybody at home, that I called them witches because they are wonderful women. I just don't agree with them. But when a friend of mine, whose husband I knew incredibly well, told me that he was boring, and I had gone out with him myself, so I knew that he was boring in the end. She told me, they were married, that she was thinking of having an affair with another bloke. I went, well, just do it. I don't think it matters, because if he doesn't know, it doesn't matter.
But it does matter, because it's done, isn't it? At the end of the day, you make vows. Those vows are supposed to be sacred, right? You make those promises. Otherwise, don't bother to make them. Just stay single, do what you want, and do, you know,
Yeah,
and
well,
then that's fine. But
Kelly, I admire what you've said, but nevertheless, in the reality of life in Britain today, 40% of marriages end in divorce.
noted.
So was the answer having a load of one-night stands, then?
It's not having a load, but if you're in an unhappy marriage, if your husband or partner is taking you for granted, and if you should, you know, as luck would have it, stray on the other side of the fence or, you know, have a bit of fun, and it's perked you up, made you feel good, made you prepared to put up with the situation you find yourself in on a day-to-day basis, what harm is done?
What happens in the long term, then?
In the long term, you might have to reassess, you know, if your partner and you can't work towards living together that seems, what's the word, more compatible, more considerate, kind of, or whatever. Well, maybe it's over. But if you are prepared to have the odd one-night stand just to keep you in that relationship, there's a stunned silence round
I don't
here.
think there is a relationship if you're cheating. I really don't.
No.
Cheating implies that you're having a passionate affair. The odd one-night stand is not that.
No
So do you think, is it... But I kind of get with it. I don't agree with it, but I get the logic. Because what you're saying, I think, Janet, is there's a difference between emotionally cheating on someone and physically doing an act. You're basically separating the two, aren't you?
Yeah.
But you see them as one and the same.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's strange anyway, because they're friends, and it was her husband who's
Well,
now...
we're talking Corrie now.
We're talking Corrie now. No, not your husband. Because I wouldn't know which one to talk about. There's so many.
Oh, that's good.
But so her husband has cheated on her, cheated on Sally, and now he's with this other woman.
Yes, Abi.
And now she's cheated on him.
Yeah.
On him. So I wouldn't get involved with it. I mean, it all depends. If I was Sally's character and he cheated on me, I wouldn't tell her.
So do you think...
Because I think what goes around comes around.
But do you think friends should ever insert themselves within other people's relationships anyway? Because that can go one way or the other.
I would try
really.
not to, because then you could lose a friend over it, because the friend doesn't want to know sometimes if their partner's cheating on them, because I nearly did that and I nearly lost a friend years and years
Really?
ago. Yeah, yeah.
How did you manage to keep your mouth shut?
Well, I didn't.
I just think you should treat people how you would like to be treated, and I wouldn't want to be cheated on. So if I'm committed to that person and I've said I do, that means for life for me. So I've made that decision going into it knowing that it's supposed to be forsaking all lovers, and that's not a pit stop here and there and wherever.
Yeah, but...
It's about forsaking all lovers. So for me, it's also about a long-term decision. I don't know that I would be able to live with myself if I knew that I had done it, because it's a satisfaction here and now. Yeah, it feels sweet, it feels good. I've had a nice little time. It's been tantalising. Even if it's not even been about an emotional commitment to the person and it's just been an act, do the act by yourself. You know, that's fine. If that's a need that you have, get that over and done with and keep that relationship sanctified, because that's the whole reason of marriage in the first place.
Did you not feel guilty?
I am a guilt-free zone.
Yeah,
I don't feel guilty
right.
about anything in life whatsoever. And that's why at the age of 75, I do not look riven with guilt. I don't look weighed down by guilt. I just do not acknowledge guilt. Guilt is something that eats you up from the inside. And I'm not having
How
it.
would you feel if they cheated on you?
I'd just make a decision whether they were, whether I could carry on putting up with them, whether I'd weigh it up. I mean, I have to dump people over them cheating on me. And even when they've apologised, I've thought, you know what, you're not really worth it. But it wouldn't be the main reason I would dump them. It would be part of the reason.
Yeah, yeah.
But you still feel that you didn't like the act that they did towards you, and that even if it wasn't the sole decision, it still contributed to the decision of you saying that relationship wasn't worth it. So that's the whole point. Don't put the relationship on the line in the first place. Work on the relationship. Work on the things that need to be worked on.
Yeah, but you can work on something. It's like you can work on some clapped-out old car, but in the end, it's a clapped-out old car. And you can go to all the counselling you like, but if you married someone and the bottom line is that you have aged differently, that's the other thing we're seeing a lot of at the moment, when the biggest number of divorces are people in a little bit younger age group than me, but nevertheless, women and men, age 45 to 60, they think, hey, right, kids have left home, I want my own life.